Yes, in fact, I think it was a journalist who said Kevin was a combination of finesse and power, shrouded in a big personality, and I think that encapsulates Kevin.
Kevin was such a huge part of my life, and hopefully I was of his. I mean, we'd known each other for probably, 35 years, 40 years. We both came from South London. I'm a little bit older than Kevin, so we weren't of the same generation, but we grew up at a time. We came through the club at a time, similar time. We had similar experiences. We won trophies together. We dined out together. We had drinks. So I feel as though, I got to know him really, really well. So many stories for Kevin.
Kevin, for me, helped me a hell of a lot when I was younger. Advice, taking me out for a night out, just having a laugh and joke in general. I was fortunate he introduced me to all his family, his brothers, his mum, his dad. Kevin showed me nothing but love. At such a young age, we lose individuals, and it's not easy. It's not easy.
I'm thrilled to sort of see the support, love, and fantastic memories that people have of Kevin. It's really interesting that I knew him as a brother, as a beloved brother, but since his passing, I've learned so much about Kevin the man. So that's lovely to sort of get to know and understand who he was, the other part of his life.
It was that big wide smile, that big personality. You could always hear him, but in a nice way. He had a lovely way about him. And on the football pitch, of course, he was my strike partner. Once he'd broken into the side, I'd been with Merce as a strike partner, Grovesy for a little bit of time, and then Kev came in. And he was great to play with. He would make runs off you. He would create a diversion with that physical power and speed that he had. And he could score a goal. And he was one of those lads that was popular in the dressing room. One of those boys that he was hard to take a dislike to. He was genuine, desperate to do well. Come right through the ranks.
He was a big part of why we were successful, because he was such a brilliant servant to the club and player. And what I loved about Kevin was, and especially being a fullback and needing a little bit of help in front of me, whenever we played in the European games, we always played with a different system, and he played on the right in front of me, and he would not bat an eyelid at anything I used to say to him. He'd just do it, and he was one of those amazing players. And that's trust me, being a fullback and trying to control a winger in front of you and get some help from your own player to help you out in those positions. It doesn't happen very often because they don't want to do that side of the job. Kev would do anything.
I remember playing my debut for Arsenal. I came on for Alan Smith, and Kevin Campbell moved from the left wing up front. And one of the first things I remember doing with the ball at my feet, I cut in off to the left and I clipped a little pass into Kevin Campbell, and thankfully he made me look good because he held it up, looked after it and then gave it off, and that was the first sort of touch I'd really had as an Arsenal first teamer. So that definitely sticks in my memory. As a person, he's just so fun. He's just a very warm guy that made all the youngsters very welcome, and my memories, a lot of them are around Christmas parties and things like that, because he would often organise them. He would be the guy that would book the venue. He'd get the entertainment sorted. He was the go-to guy for fun. We all loved him.
And when I used to go to the London Colney to see the youth team play, invariably there may be 40 or 50 people, and I would stand next to Pat Rice, who was the coach, and as soon as Kevin got the ball anywhere near the halfway line, Pat would go like this. He'd say, beep, 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 as if it was Kevin driving a truck through heavy traffic. And he would just go through the defence. It would like a knife through butter. Everybody was, because of his power and strength and speed. And he was just a wonderful guy, and a very sad loss to football.
I think that's why everybody here is here tonight, because of Kevin, the human being. One of the loveliest humans I've ever met, I was really close to him because of our playing relationship. But I really had a soft spot for him because he used to take care of everybody. He was, and I think that, now hopefully that goes through, transfers into the legacy through his foundation. I think that's why people are attached to it and want to help and want to try and raise money and create something that Kevin would be really proud of. So that's why we're all here, and that's why Kevin is a legend and always will be.
After the tragedy in Hillsborough in '89, we all had to go all-seater, and we were going to rebuild the North Bank. And instead of standing, we had to have, the seating, 2 tiers. And I thought, well, rather than have ugly cranes and scaffolding, what about camouflaging it with a mural which actually depicted the new stand, the 2-tier stand. And sure enough, we put that up. And on the Friday before we were playing Coventry for the opening game of the season, the boys were training at Highbury on the pitch, on the main pitch. I happened to come, my office was in Highbury, so I came down just to see how it was getting on pitch side. And then at the end of training, Kevin came up to me and he said, "Mr. Dean, there's none of my brothers in that mural." And I looked at it and I said, "Kevin, you're so right. We'll change that immediately. You're so right." I feel hugely embarrassed. Thank you for pointing that out. And he was about 20 at the time, but he of all people came up to me to point that out, which I thought was really showed class. And in fact, the opening game of the season, I think we lost to Coventry 4-1. The game was so bad, 9 people in the mural walked out.